under Chicken Ranch Road. We went in there and kind of took out the pieces of pipe that were damaged after looking at it and inspecting it. The whole pipe needs to be replaced. So I've contacted the county of El Paso, and they have agreed to shut down the road. It will be closed by Monday, where I can go in there and tear out the road and replace the pipe under the road. County of El Paso will furnish the pipe for their section, which is 40 feet under the road. And this is that Chicken Ranch Road right by Danny Lloyd's place. This next one here is just a couple of washouts that we've been working on also. This is the Riverside Canal. With all the rains, we're still trying to catch up on some of the ruts that were caused by the rain. This is actually a loaner that was brought to us by one of the, I think this was Four Rivers that brought that tractor to us. So we can try it out and kind of demo it. And we haven't bought our dozer yet, that's just a demo. And this is over here by Casey Rogers, also a flume that failed. We went in there and replaced the section over the drain. The other two sections were done about a year ago, so they were in fairly good shape. And right there, we're just pouring a collar to tie both pipes together.
When we bury those pipes, what's the life expectancy of our newer pipes with those different coatings y'all been looking at?
They're supposed to be 25 to 50 years.
Right.
Yes. And we've gone back to the 12 gauge and the 10 gauge pipe, because we found that the 16 gauge pipe, I had some pipe that I had to replace the following year because it's so thin. So we've gone away from 16 gauge pipe.
Yeah.
But that's the untreated, that's the stuff that's treated, so you don't use the polyethylene treated pipe for surface installations.
No, but we're using aluminized.
Yeah, aluminum.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still aluminum. But the expensive pipe that we do for underground, and we work with the city, and is
Trench coat.
trench coated with a plastic coating. It's 75 year life.
Oh, wow.
But we can't use that in all installations, and especially above ground installations, because it's a polyethylene coating, which you don't allow.
Above ground, yeah, but on underground.
Yeah.
So on our grains, we're not using that, we're using
Aluminized. Which has got the life of about 25 years. That's what they say. I'll let you know in 25 years.
Okay. Yeah, let me know.
But it's a salt, I mean, and Husbands had a lot more problems with it than because of their soils are more salted than ours. It's obviously an issue, and EPCWID doesn't have any problem. They swear by the stuff because their water has no salt in it.
Right. And
they probably get a much longer time, but the minute it gets exposed to salt, we start losing at the water line is where it fails.
And we're out there just digging out some of these cement line ditches. You know, you kind of figure cement line, you will get no growth in there, and you'd be surprised how much silt is built up at the bottom and how much growth we get inside these ditches. And we're also continuing to raise our banks. Go to the next one, Jay, and you'll see the difference on the banks. On one of them, you got about 6 inches. The dirt is about 6 inches below the concrete. Once we're done, we're trying to get at least 6 inches above the concrete, which is a lot. It's a lot better for the concrete, and a lot better for the mowers. That's kind of what it looks like after we're done. The next one, Jay. And these next couple of pictures is just some pictures of the drains, just to kind of show you guys where we're at. And Border Spur drain is up in the upper valley. There was a lot of growth on the Border Spur drain. It had this is one of the drains that we had an agreement with EPCWID that they maintain some of our drains. We maintain some of theirs, but apparently our drains weren't being maintained. So now we're just taking care of our own.
We take care of theirs and ours.
Well, no, we just take care of ours. Anything out of Texas, I don't touch.
And this would, just so you know, Pete, Indar was asking me if we were doing the work, and I told him on the New Mexico, I told him yes. He wanted to know when we're going from borderland upstream, and I told him that'll be next.
Yes.
We'll address that there, all the way to the state line.
Yeah, once we get to the tail end, we'll jump back up, and then we'll go up to the state line. That's the New Mexico.
Let me ask you about the state line business.
Yes, sir.
You know, we've got this joint powers agreement, and you overlap Texas and New Mexico, and they overlap, Mexico and Texas.
We understand that,
Right,
but
right.
we had concerns that the drains weren't being kept up to our standard, what they're supposed to service.
Right.
So, they're short of equipment, and so I told Pete, let's, we were having a buildup of water. The water table was rising, so, which could hurt some of those farmers up there, up the valley. So I told Pete, let's just go ahead and clean them, do them ourselves and get them going, and until maybe Gary can start maintaining them.
And if there's an impact on ours, for example, there's a section there that's in New Mexico that's impacting our Texas land, I'll just go and handle it. I want to make sure that our constituents are taken care of, so we will do sections. I mean, I won't do a whole drain in New Mexico, but I will do small sections that have an impact on Texas. This is a New Mexico drain over by Montoya Road, just downstream from Waterman. And that's one of the drains that we're working on, and you can see how just by removing all that cattail in the middle, we're starting to get these drains to start running. Unfortunately, that cattail is very hard to get rid of. Franklin Drain, this is right by the inlet to Basin G, but it is on the Franklin Drain, and as you can see, this drain here is one of the drains that diverts the water to Basin G and down to the Socorro area. That's the Franklin drains. These next couple of pictures on the Franklin drains, that's a before picture and then an after picture. That's over by the Socorro Middle School, right by Zabu. Again, that's over by Ding Dinger's place, or not Ding Dinger, Teagle's place. And that's also a before and after picture. That's our grade. I'll take care of some of the larger trees. We've got the brush cutter in the front of that grade. That again are just before and after. These are all in the same area of Franklin Drain between Socorro, Wind Road, and the Aliviane on Socorro Road.
Was that just a year's growth?
Yeah, it's really funny how fast it's coming back. Some of the drains that we just did about a month, 2 months ago, the weeds are already about 3 feet high.
With all the rain,
Yeah, I can't seem to keep up with it. But right now, my main concern is to make sure that the water starts running and get some of these drains that, I try to follow a schedule. I try to start one and then come back around. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. When you start getting complaints, you got to kind of jump around a little bit. But this is all still the Franklin drain. This is the Mesa drain over by Del Valle High School, just upstream from Del Valle High School.
Wow.
That one there, we're fortunate enough to get inside and do everything from the inside. The drain's dry, so, which makes it a lot easier. That's there by the old utility trader's place. That's the middle drain. We've also started the middle drain from the beginning. We're down pretty close to Clint already. These next couple of pictures are all from the middle drain. That was a before and after. If you noticed, on the one before, I think, was dry. The drain was dry. Once we went in there and dug it out, the water came out. I think the other one. There is a picture of it. Riverside Interceptor Drain. This drain here is the one that runs all alongside the border fence. The reason we're cleaning this is because being that we're going to be doing all this work on the riverside, at the event that we need to use this drain, I want to make sure that we're prepared to use it. I'm hoping we don't have to, but I'd rather be proactive than reactive, I guess. And this is back to the middle drain at Moon Road. Here, we started this project here last week. Unfortunately, right now I'm in standstill. In the event that you all get phone calls, we're not holding up the project. Right now, there's a water line, a main water line going through this culvert running parallel with Moon Road, and Lower Valley Water District doesn't have the material right now to do the repairs. So we're waiting on them to get the parts they need so they can go out there and replace and suspend that line.
And all this is being paid by the city of Socorro?
Yes. You'll see the line right straight there. So that's what you maybe you want. That's right there. And other things that we're doing is, we're also trying to get started on some of these projects that we're gonna be doing shotcrete. We're out there trying to get ahead of the game a little bit and doing some shaping, some bringing in dirt, removing dirt, trying to get our elevations where we need them. That way, once that stop gives us the green light that we're good, of course you will, then we'll be that much closer to getting started on it.
Very good. Been busy.
Very.
Yeah. That's good. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you, Dean. Robert,
Mine's gonna be short.
you're gonna be short. Okay.
The rains kinda helped end the season for me pretty good. Unit 6 came to a halt pretty fast. We finished them out just like we planned. We finished them out about 2 days before we planned to shut them off. Unit 6, Unit 7 came into the same play. EPCWID, when they cut off on the 30th of September, our demand down here was still about 400 feet, but we brought the river down to 200 and found out that even with that, the river stayed with about 600 there for about a week. So we decided to get with Al and Chewy. We cut off the river for about a week before, because the return flow, not a lot of men, the acres, the farmers were quite ready with these pecans. They wanted to go in there, still get their last mowing, and so they finally got ready this week. So we finally released last Friday. We got the water here Monday, and we've been going pretty strong. And up to Monday, we're up to 14,000 acres. Up to today, there's 4,000 left. We're working, and there's 4,000 on the board. So hopefully by next Wednesday or Thursday, we'll finish it out. So what you need to do, Art, I know what you want to do. You need to go.
Yeah, I gotta study that thing.
You need to leave today and put your order in, because they're not gonna take your order until they talk to me, so.
No, that's right.
And you need to be ready by the time you get home,
Yeah. Yeah.
or you're not gonna get the water.
No.
There's still some, there's a lot of people still out there,
I just happen to have bad luck, though. And it happens some years you're just out, you get up with your cycle because of your rains,
well, that's what's happened to everybody. They want us to
that
go,
all out of the way.
they want us to go a little bit longer, and I wish you could.
No, that's all right, we agreed on it as a board, so.
But you remember this, all this construction that's going on, we just have to cut off.
Yeah.
And there's no way around it. And the bottom line is like, acre-wise, last year to this year, last year we watered 220,000. This year we ended up watering 230,000. So we did a little bit better, but I think the year could have been better, but the rain's pretty well didn't help us. It rained through the whole year, and there were very heavy rains. But the end of the season's coming over, and I think tomorrow I'm gonna tell the Bureau about 8 o'clock, shut off Caballo, and that'd be it. It'll season until next year. And as Al said, and Chief said, we'll start return flow as soon as we can next year. And you gotta remember, Tamian, when we do start return flow next year, it's not gonna be a great amount, because they're still gonna be working in the American Canal, so we'll lose that return flow. All we're gonna have is just basically the hassle in the Bustamante, which is not gonna be.
Where's that water number, is gonna be able to do unit what, 9A and 9B or what?
Gonna be doing everything, Larry, because what we do with return flow, we'll cut off, we won't run water down the riverside, we'll bring it down to Franklin feeder, down to Franklin, down the island feeder, to the island main, to the Hanson, to O'Neill. Everybody will get water except the people on the riverside. Because if I run water down the riverside with return flow, if you put 20 feet, you lose 15. You only get 5, so you lose. The best way to do it is go down to Franklin feeder and deliver as much as possible. But everybody, Unit 8 and Unit 9 will get water for the return flow. It won't be the greatest, but it'll be there. It'll be there. It's gonna be like 60, 70 feet, and then it all depends, if you all want toward the end, maybe run some wells for a while, because, Al, you just can't sit them there. I would not run them, you gotta run them once in a while, just keep them going, and we'll look at that when we come to it. We've been doing that for the past 2 years, so.
Yeah, 2 weeks prior, you know, we're releasing early, so in March 1, we usually start out the wells and use it to prime the system. We have to operate the wells anyway,
Yeah.
so.
So it helps, and it's looking like a very good year for next year. I think we ended the season pretty well. I mean, I understand the farmers, they're cutting their hay, and Al says, because they think they wanna irrigate one more time to get another cut in, and, you know, some say that it's a waste of time, some people says no, so. But anyway, the season's coming to an end next Thursday. So we want water, Art?
Boy. That's some white ground, I'm gonna be wishing I had water on it, so I don't know. I have wells too.
Well, you know, we can still get you wet. I mean, there's enough water still to get some people wet.
I've been resting the last few days. I know when we called it off, and I've been sitting here wondering, so have to do a little more
I mean, Robert's right, there's gonna, even though we stopped taking orders, if he's got a bunch of water and we
Right,
don't
if
shut
it's
down the
a-
system,
Yeah.
you'll take the order.
I just got to the point, Art, that I have to
No, I
step in and
understand.
take the orders because, you know, I tell the dispatchers, if they called in and want the water and said they're ready now, take it. And then we call them and says, can you wait 2 or 3 more days?
No,
And I
that's
said,
not
I can't do that, guys. He said, we're taking the order because you're ready now. Like Team yesterday at the meeting, he said, Robert, I've got 100 acres and I'm ready now. I said, Team, put your order in, and by the time you get to the office, you're gonna get your water, and he got his water. But that's the way it's gotta go. It's gotta go. You can't
Yeah,
wait.
you can't wait.
Sort of like standby at an airport, you gotta get on now.
Well, my problem is, I got a neighbor that I'm just curious if the water will get by him.
He's got 2 hits right now, and he's still got orders for I think for next Tuesday, and I told him already, he said, ready or not,
Get
we're
ready.
gonna cut off.
Yeah.
So he's trying to do right now is irrigate where he don't have good wells, and then the rest he'll finish out with the wells.
Well, the part I'm thinking about, I have some wells, so that for maybe on the 462.
So, you know, if you're ready by Monday, we can still get you, but
Okay.
after that.
All right, gotcha. Understood.
And we got an acre water down there, 2 in the Hunt area. That we all understand.
Yep.
It's not a lot, but now it's good. The season's coming to an end, and thank you guys for putting up with our
No,
low water sometimes, but it happens.
okay,
It's water.
It's
all right.
Thanks.
Robert, done well, thanks. On a hard year, you did well. Let me look here, Chewy, let's see what's number 10. That's, water delivery allocations, we don't have anything
Yeah,
there.
we can move on to the,
Jay? Okay, and we've got the preliminary stuff.
To 11A, right, so this will be a summary of what we discussed earlier. 11A is the project with TxDOT that has an existing license, a perpetual license for the Franklin Canal and the Border Highway Freeway. So since there's an existing license, essentially we'll draft up an approval letter, and everything has been submitted, coordinated with the contractor and the designer, and this is design build, and engineering, and recommends this project for approval.
Okey-dokey, any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Oh, well,
All right, Mr. Singh makes the motion. Do I hear a second? Mr. Savayo seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. 11B is the application on behalf of El Paso Water Utilities. It's El Paso Water, and they're still, I asked, and we're still doing El Paso Water Utilities for legal reasons. But, so this is the 12-inch water main that is gonna run along the left bank, outside right away the left bank of the Franklin Canal for approximately 3,000 linear feet. And obviously, we reviewed the drawings and survey, and engineering recommends this project for approval with the contingencies that Dr. Blair discussed as far as the payment from TxDOT and payment on behalf of El Paso Water as well, so.
Okay, you're making sure that's in there.
Yes, got a resolution, yeah.
You got a resolution?
So
All right.
the board resolved to approve license 1925, under the requirement that Texas Department of Transportation approves in writing payment of up to $490,000 for cost of materials to concrete pave 3,500 feet of Franklin Canal, and that the El Paso Water Utilities Public Service Board executes the license and pays all costs for the license prior to November 15, 2017.
Okay, do I hear somebody make that motion? Mr. Salinas makes the motion, Mr. Steen seconds it. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 We need to let the city, pass water
You can let them know.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yes, they should have that signed, I'll send those out today. 11C is an application on behalf of Conterra. This is the same entity that's been submitting applications for some time now. They're providing internet for Isleta ISD and El Paso ISD. And on this particular application, they will be crossing the Franklin Canal subsurface. It'll be underground. We did request for them to drill a minimum of 10 feet under the design grade. This is over by Little Flower Drive, and we've got some sandy material there. So it's a 1.5 inch conduit, and it's fairly small. But they submitted all their proper documentation, and engineering recommends this application.
And this is for the
Isleta.
school district.
Isleta ISD, yes.
All three of these, you could do something.
It's just, yeah, and the next one is for Isleta as well.
Some are aerial, some are underground.
And the other one is aerial, yes, so, you know, those essentially span the entire right-of-way without any physical structures on the actual right-of-way, so, yes. So one is underground via directional boring, drilling, and the other one is aerial, and they'll pass electric poles across the playa lateral, and they submit all their documentation, and engineer recommends these two applications for approval.
Okay,
I'll move.
all right. And our,
Will
makes
it
the
come
motion.
together or what?
And Larry seconds the motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okey-dokey. Sales surplus, none. All right. Time to take a break and go into closed session. Correct?
Don't have anything for.
Yeah, we don't have anything for closed session either?
No, we do, Maria and Jim need to
Mary's
give
up
us
to
an
date for
update, yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, I'm just saying engineering.
Quick little report. All right, let's do
No, no,
the
no.
quick little 5-minute break. We'll go into closed session.